Picture a sunlit hillside, the air fresh and alive with the scent of wildflowers, the gentle breeze carrying the distant sounds of a waking world. The grass glows gold in the morning light, and the sky stretches wide and blue above. On this hillside, a crowd has gathered, their faces turned expectantly toward Jesus. Some sit quietly, others whisper to their neighbors, but all are drawn by a sense that something extraordinary is about to happen. People have come from distant villages and bustling towns, traveling dusty roads and rocky paths. They've heard stories of miraculous healings, of hope restored, of a teacher who speaks with authority and compassion. They're hungry, not just for bread, but for meaning, for comfort, for a glimpse of something greater than themselves. Their hearts ache for answers, for hope in a world that often feels harsh and unforgiving. Jesus sees them all, the weary, the searching, the brokenhearted, the hopeful. He knows their stories, their struggles, their silent prayers. He climbs the gentle slope, finds a place to sit among the wildflowers, and the crowd grows quiet. When he begins to speak, his words are unlike anything they've heard before. He doesn't offer promises of power, wealth, or comfort. There are no grand declarations of victory or conquest. Instead, he speaks of blessings found in the most unexpected places, where pain and humility dwell, where hearts are open and spirits are gentle. He calls the forgotten, the grieving, the gentle, blessed. He sees value in those the world overlooks, and he lifts up those who feel small. With every word, he turns the world's values upside down, challenging what people have always believed about happiness and success. The world says the strong, the wealthy, and the powerful are the ones to envy, the ones who have it all. But Jesus says it's the gentle, the merciful, and the poor in spirit who are truly blessed. He honors those who seek peace, who show kindness, who long for justice. This is the Sermon on the Mount, a message that echoes through the ages, reaching every heart that longs for something more, even today. It's a love letter from God, a map to true joy and a guide for living with purpose and compassion. Happiness, Jesus teaches, isn't found in having more things, but in being more gentle, more merciful, more pure in heart. It's about how we treat others, how we forgive, how we love. These teachings, known as the Beatitudes, are 8 blessings, each one a promise, each one an invitation to see life through new eyes. They invite us to imagine a world where humility is strength, where compassion is power, and where peace is the greatest treasure. Jesus offers a new way, a way to lasting peace, not fleeting success. He shows us that true fulfillment comes from within, not from what we own or achieve. He invites us to trade our small ambitions for a kingdom that never fades, to let go of fear and embrace hope. The crowd listens, hearts open and spirits stirred, as Jesus reveals where true happiness is found, not in outward success but in inward transformation. His words echo across time, calling us to a deeper, richer life, one rooted in love, humility, and hope. The Beatitudes aren't rules to follow, they're a vision for a new kind of humanity, a blueprint for a world transformed by kindness and grace. Jesus invites everyone, then and now, to step into this upside-down kingdom, to live with courage, compassion, and faith. The journey begins with a humble heart, willing to listen and to learn. It continues with acts of mercy, with a commitment to purity, and with a longing for peace that shapes every choice we make. And it leads to a joy that nothing in this world can take away, a joy rooted in love, in hope, and in the promise of something greater. This is the invitation of the hillside. To live differently, to love deeply, and to find blessing in the most unexpected places. Jesus begins with a radical and countercultural statement. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. These words turn the world's values upside down, inviting us to see strength in humility and blessing in our need. To be poor in spirit is to be humble, to recognize deep down that you need God. It's not about material poverty but about a heart that knows its limits and isn't afraid to admit its need. It's coming to God with empty hands, honestly admitting you can't do it alone. It's the courage to let go of self-reliance and to trust that God will meet you right where you are. Humility makes room for God's blessing. When we stop pretending we have it all together, we create space for something greater to enter our lives. When you let go of pride, you open your life to something greater. You discover that surrender is not weakness, but the beginning of true strength. Jesus promises the kingdom of heaven to the humble, not just in the distant future but starting now, in the present moment. It's a trade, our fragile self-sufficiency for God's unshakable kingdom. We exchange our burdens for His peace, our striving for His rest. If you feel weak, small, or inadequate, you're in the perfect place to be blessed. God's kingdom is built on the foundation of humble hearts. Don't pretend to be strong, bring your honest heart to God. He welcomes your vulnerability and meets you with compassion. He's ready to fill you with what you truly need: grace, hope, and strength for the journey ahead. The first step into God's kingdom isn't strength, but surrender. It's the willingness to let go and trust in something bigger than yourself. Humility is the doorway to every other blessing. It's the key that unlocks the riches of God's love and presence. When you're teachable, you're ready to receive. A humble heart is open to learning, growing, and being transformed. The kingdom belongs to those who know their need, who come with open hands and honest hearts. Jesus invites us to start with a simple, humble bow of the heart. This is the posture that welcomes heaven to earth. That's where true strength begins, rooted in humility, growing in grace. The kingdom of heaven is for the humble, for those willing to trust, surrender, and receive. Jesus says, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted." The world avoids pain, but Jesus meets us in our sorrow. Mourning isn't weakness, it's a sign your heart is alive and tender. Whether you grieve loss, regret, or the world's brokenness, Jesus calls you blessed. He promises comfort, not just a pat on the back, but deep healing. God's comfort is personal. He sits with us in our pain. Jesus himself wept. He knows our tears. In mourning, we find God's presence most closely. Your sorrow isn't a sign God has forgotten you, it's where he meets you with hope. Let your tears water the ground for new peace. If you're grieving, you're not alone. God's comfort is real, and it's for you. Mourning opens our hearts to receive his love. In our darkest moments, his light shines brightest. Jesus promises those who mourn will be comforted. Your pain is seen, and your healing is coming. Blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Meekness isn't weakness, it's strength under control. Like a tamed wild horse, the meek are powerful, but their strength is surrendered to God. They don't need to prove themselves or fight for their own way. Meek people are gentle, patient, and secure in God's love. Jesus himself was meek, powerful yet humble. The world chases power, but Jesus promises the earth to the gentle. The meek build bridges, not walls. Their quiet confidence brings peace to those around them. While others grasp for control, the meek trust God's timing. Their reward isn't temporary, it's lasting. In letting go, they gain everything. The earth belongs to those who trust, not those who take. Meekness is the way of Jesus, and the way to true inheritance. Blessed are the gentle. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. These words echo through the ages, calling out to every heart that longs for something more, something deeper than what the world can offer. This is a deep craving for things to be made right, in us and in the world. It's a longing that stirs within when we see injustice, when we feel the weight of our own shortcomings, or when we witness suffering around us. It's not a mild wish, but a consuming desire for God's goodness. It's a hunger that refuses to be silenced by distractions or temporary comforts, a thirst that cannot be quenched by anything less than the presence of God himself. We long to be changed, to be more like Jesus. We yearn for our hearts to reflect his love, his compassion, and his justice in a world that so often feels broken. We ache for justice, for wrongs to be made right. Our spirits cry out for healing, for peace, for a world where goodness prevails and every person is valued. This hunger moves us to action, defending the weak, seeking justice, loving mercy. It compels us to step out of comfort and into compassion, to lift up those who are hurting, and to be a voice for the voiceless. God promises to satisfy this longing. He sees every tear, every prayer, every act of faithfulness, and he responds with his presence and his power. He fills us with his own character, his living water. In him our souls find rest and renewal, and our deepest needs are met in ways we never imagined. No earthly pleasure can match this fulfillment. The world's promises fade, but God's satisfaction endures, bringing hope even in the driest seasons. If you're tired of brokenness, yours or the world's, bring your hunger to God. He welcomes every longing heart, every weary soul, and offers true restoration. He will not leave you empty. His promise is sure, and his love is unending. Righteousness is both a gift and a calling. It's something we receive by grace and something we pursue with all our hearts. Chase after it, and you'll find a satisfaction that lasts. The journey may be long, but the reward is greater than anything this world can offer. The world offers empty promises. God offers true fulfillment. Only in Him do we find what our souls truly crave. Hunger for what matters most and you will be filled. Let your longing lead you to the one who satisfies. This is the promise of Jesus, a promise for all who seek, all who yearn, all who hunger for righteousness. Blessed are those who hunger for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Mercy is compassion in action, helping, forgiving, loving those who don't deserve it. God's heart is merciful. He forgave us first. Jesus calls us to pass that mercy on. Forgive those who hurt you, help those in need, show kindness even when it's hard. Mercy isn't weakness, it's strength that chooses love over judgment. What you give, you receive. When you show mercy, you reflect God's heart. One day, we'll all need mercy. Let it flow through you now. Mercy changes us and those around us. It's the mark of those who know God's grace. The merciful will be shown mercy by God Himself. Blessed are the merciful. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Purity of heart isn't perfection, it's undivided devotion. A pure heart wants one thing above all, God. It's honest, transparent, and focused on pleasing Him. God alone can create this purity in us. When our hearts are clean, our actions follow. The pure in heart see God, not just in heaven but here and now. They notice His presence in everyday moments. Their spiritual vision is clear. Purity is a lifelong pursuit, a daily surrender. Ask God to search and cleanse your heart. The reward, seeing God's hand, His beauty, His glory. Blessed are the pure in heart. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Peacemakers don't just love peace, they create it. They step into conflict, build bridges, and heal divisions. Peacemaking takes courage, patience, and wisdom. It reflects the heart of God, the ultimate peacemaker. Jesus made peace for us on the cross. When we bring peace, we show the world what God is like. Peacemakers carry the family resemblance of their Father. Their actions reveal their true identity. Being a child of God is seen in how we reconcile and restore. The world needs peacemakers, people who bring hope where there's conflict. This is the work of God's children. Blessed are the peacemakers. Jesus ends with a hard truth. Blessed are you when people insult, persecute, and lie about you because of me. Following Jesus means standing out, and sometimes suffering for it. This blessing isn't for troublemakers, but for those who live out His teachings. When you're merciful, pure, and peaceful, the world may push back. Jesus' honest faithfulness comes at a cost, but He calls us to rejoice, even in hardship. Persecution is a sign you belong to Him. You're in good company. The prophets were treated the same. Your suffering is not wasted, it's a badge of honor. The reward, great joy in heaven. Earthly troubles are temporary. God's reward is eternal. This hope gives us strength to endure. Our King sees our faithfulness and promises a crown of life. Lift your eyes from present pain to future glory. Jesus' words echo, "Rejoice and be glad, your reward is great." Blessed are those who are persecuted for His sake.